Have you ever looked at your daily diet and thought, I'm doing everything right, so why are my kidneys getting worse? Because here's the truth. Most people in America never hear in time. Some of the very fruits you trust to keep you healthy could be silently damaging your kidneys every single day. And by the time your lab results finally show a problem, you may have already lost up to half of your kidney function without feeling a single warning sign. That's what makes this so dangerous. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't show up early, and it hides behind habits you believe are good for you, which is exactly why so many people are caught off guard when it's already too late. But before you start second-guessing everything you eat, you need to understand this. Your body isn't failing you, it's trying to send you a signal you've never been taught to recognize. And once you see it, you can change the outcome. I'm Dr. Vincent Hale, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly which common fruits may be putting hidden stress on your kidneys, and more importantly, the simple, science-backed choices that can help protect and even support your kidney function starting today. Because sometimes the difference between decline and recovery comes down to what you put on your plate tomorrow morning. Let's start with something so simple. Most people overlook it completely: the apple. It doesn't look powerful, it's not exotic, not expensive, and definitely not trending on any superfood list. But when it comes to protecting your kidneys, apples quietly do something most other fruits can't. They reduce the workload your kidneys have to carry every single day. Here's why that matters. Inside your digestive system, apples contain a type of soluble fiber called pectin. Think of it like a natural sponge. Instead of letting toxins, excess phosphorus, and waste products enter your bloodstream, where your kidneys are forced to filter them, pectin binds to these substances and helps remove them through your gut. In other words, it gives your kidneys backup support before they even have to act. Now, this might sound subtle, but over time, it changes everything. I once worked with a patient, mid-50s, disciplined, ate clean every day. But his labs kept getting worse. Creatinine slowly rising, energy dropping, swelling starting to appear. He couldn't understand it. I don't eat junk, he told me. I have fruit every morning. But when we looked closer, his fruit choices were the problem. We made one small shift, nothing extreme, just replaced his usual high-potassium fruits with one medium apple a day, always with the skin. 3 months later, his numbers didn't magically reverse, but they stopped getting worse. And that moment, when the body stops declining, is more important than most people realize, because it means the damage has paused and recovery becomes possible. Science backs this up too. Studies have shown that people who consume higher amounts of fruit fiber, around 25 to 30 grams per day, can improve phosphorus control by up to 23%, significantly reducing strain on the kidneys over time. And apples, especially with the peel, are one of the most accessible ways to get there. But here's something even more interesting. Apples also have a low glycemic index, meaning they don't spike your blood sugar the way many fruits do. And stable blood sugar means less microscopic damage to the tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys, the very structures responsible for keeping you alive. So no, an apple isn't a miracle cure. But it does something more important. It removes pressure, little by little, day after day. And sometimes, healing doesn't start with adding something powerful. It starts with removing what's quietly harming you. But just understanding this isn't enough, because there's another fruit, much smaller, much more concentrated, that doesn't just reduce damage, it actively fights the inflammation causing it in the first place. But what if reducing the workload isn't enough? What if the real damage is already happening deep inside your kidneys, at a level you can't see or feel? That's where blueberries change the game. These tiny, deep blue berries might look harmless, but inside them is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds in nature, anthocyanins. And unlike general antioxidants that just float around in your bloodstream, These compounds can actually reach the kidney tissue itself, targeting the exact place where damage begins. Because here's the truth most people don't realize. Kidney disease isn't just about toxins. It's about chronic inflammation slowly destroying your filtration system from within. I remember a woman in her early 60s, active, careful with her diet, but frustrated. Her kidney numbers kept declining even though she had already cut out the bad foods. What she didn't realize was that the damage had already moved beyond diet alone. It had become inflammatory. We didn't overhaul her life. We made one targeted change. Half a cup of blueberries, 3 to 4 times a week. That was it. 6 months later, her lab results showed something subtle but powerful. Her kidney function had stabilized. Not cured, not dramatically reversed, but the downward slide had stopped. And in kidney health, that's a turning point. Science supports this shift. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that anthocyanins from blueberries can reduce inflammatory markers linked to kidney damage by up to 47% in just a few weeks of consistent intake. That's not just nutritional support, that's targeted biological impact. And there's another layer most people miss. Blueberries also improve insulin sensitivity, helping stabilize blood sugar levels. Why does that matter? Because unstable blood sugar is one of the fastest ways to damage the tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys. When you stabilize sugar, you protect those vessels. And when you protect those vessels, you protect your filtration system. So while apples help reduce the burden, blueberries go deeper. They help calm the internal storm that's already damaging your kidneys. And sometimes that's the difference between slowing the problem and actually interrupting it. But just knowing this still isn't enough, because there's another fruit that goes beyond protection. It actually signals your body to start repairing itself at the cellular level. But what if I told you there's a fruit that doesn't just protect your kidneys, it actually tells your cells to start repairing themselves? That's where red grapes come in. And this is the point where most people start paying attention. Because inside the skin of red and purple grapes is a compound called resveratrol. You've probably heard of it in the context of heart health, but what most people don't realize is that it also activates a group of proteins in your body known as sirtuins, especially one called SIRT1. And this is where things get interesting. SIRT1 is often referred to as a longevity switch. When activated, it helps your cells repair DNA damage, reduce inflammation, and restore balance under stress. In simple terms, it's like flipping your body from survival mode into repair mode. Now think about that for a second. If apples reduce the load and blueberries calm the inflammation, then red grapes are the signal that tells your body, now it's time to fix what's already been damaged. I once had a patient, late 40s, early stage kidney decline, not severe, but trending in the wrong direction. He was disciplined, followed advice carefully, but felt stuck. His numbers weren't improving. We didn't add anything extreme, just a small handful of red grapes, a few times a week, always with the skin. Over the next several months, something shifted. His kidney markers didn't just stabilize, they improved slightly. Not dramatically, but enough to change his trajectory. Enough to move him out of the decline category. And that's the difference most people miss. Kidney health isn't about overnight miracles. It's about changing direction. Research published in Kidney International has shown that resveratrol can improve kidney function markers and reduce oxidative stress in patients with chronic kidney conditions. Some findings even suggest measurable improvements after consistent intake over a few months. But there's a catch, and this is important. Grapes contain natural sugars. Too much, and you create the very problem you're trying to solve. That's why moderation is everything. A small handful, 15 to 20 grapes, is enough to activate these benefits without overwhelming your system. So no, more is not better. Better is precise. Because when used correctly, red grapes don't just support your kidneys, They help retrain your body to heal. But even that isn't the full picture, because there's one final piece most people overlook. Something that doesn't just protect or repair, it actually helps clear out the buildup that's been silently damaging your kidneys all along. But what if the real problem isn't just damage, or even inflammation? What if it's the buildup that's been sitting inside your kidneys this whole time, quietly blocking their ability to function? That's where pineapple becomes something most people completely underestimate. Because pineapple doesn't just protect, and it doesn't just repair, it helps your body clear out what's already there. Inside fresh pineapple is a powerful enzyme called bromelain. And unlike most nutrients that simply support your system, bromelain actively works to break down inflammatory proteins and cellular debris, the kind of buildup that clogs kidney tissue and makes filtration harder over time. Think of it like this. If your kidneys are a filter, then over the years, layers of microscopic junk start sticking to it. Not enough to feel, not enough to notice, but enough to slow everything down. Bromelain helps loosen and break apart that buildup, giving your kidneys a chance to function more freely again. I remember a patient who struggled with constant bloating, fluid retention, and fatigue. His diet wasn't terrible, but his kidneys were clearly under stress. Instead of adding more supplements, we made one simple change: half a cup of fresh pineapple a few times a week. Within weeks, he noticed something first in his body, not his labs. Less swelling, less heaviness, more consistent energy. And when we checked his numbers later, they reflected what he had already felt. His system was finally moving again. Research published in Biotechnology Research International has shown that bromelain can reduce key inflammatory markers linked to kidney damage by up to 40%, while also supporting overall tissue recovery. And combined with pineapple's natural vitamin C content, it creates a powerful defense against oxidative stress, one of the main drivers of kidney decline. But here's the detail most people miss. This only works with fresh pineapple. Canned versions destroy bromelain during processing, meaning you get the sugar without the benefit. So again, it's not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. Because at this point, you're no longer just protecting your kidneys. You're giving them space to function, repair, and clear out what's been holding them back. But even knowing all four of these fruits isn't enough, because there's one final factor: the way you combine and use them, that can determine whether your kidneys stabilize or continue to decline. And before you leave, I want you to take a breath and remember this. You are not powerless. No matter what your last test results said, no matter how long you've had these habits, your kidneys are still working for you every single day. They haven't given up. They're just waiting for the right support. Start simple. Choose better fruits. Watch your portions. Stay consistent, not perfect. Because real change doesn't come from doing everything at once. It comes from doing the right things again and again until your body has a chance to respond. If this video helped you understand something you didn't know before, do yourself a favor. Save it so you can come back to it when you need a reminder. And if you care about your health or someone else's, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, I share simple, science-backed medical insights to help you protect your kidneys and take control of your health before it's too late. Because the truth is, kidney disease doesn't start in a hospital. It starts in everyday choices. And the good news? That's exactly where healing begins too. So take what you've learned today, apply it, even in small ways, and trust that your body will meet you halfway.